MT Channel Business Services.
Welcome, dear followers, to MT Channel. Before we jump in, if you're finding our content useful, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, activate that little bell icon, give this video a like, and share it with your friends. Okay, let's get into it. So, whether you're thinking about a job in Saudi Arabia or you're already there and just want to be sure about your rights, we're going to break it all down for you. No confusing legal jargon, just the straight facts on what you need to know. Here's what we're covering today. We'll start with your wages, how you get paid. Then we'll look at working hours and overtime. After that, we'll talk about the breaks and rest days you're legally owed. And finally, we'll cover all the different kinds of leave you're entitled to. All right, let's start with the big one, the reason we all work, getting paid. So, what does the law actually say about your paycheck? It's not just about how much you get, but it's also about when you get it and how it's handled. Let's dig in. Okay, so check this out. The law is super specific about payment schedules. If you're on a monthly salary, you get paid once a month. Makes sense. But for those who earn a daily wage, you have to be paid at least once a week. And they've even thought about more complex stuff, like if you're paid by the piece for a job that takes more than 2 weeks, you still get a weekly payment to tide you over. The whole point is to make sure everyone has a steady, predictable income. Now, what happens if something gets damaged at work? Can your boss just take the cost out of your paycheck? Well, not so fast. Article 91 lays out a really strict process. First, your employer has to prove it was actually your fault. Only then can they deduct the repair cost. But, and this part is absolutely key, they can't take more than 5 days' worth of your wages in any single month. It's a huge protection for you. Beyond damages, what else can come out of your pay? Article 92 splits this into 2 categories. On one side, you've got things that need your written permission, like if you took a loan from your employer. They can't deduct repayments without your signature, and even then, it's capped at 10% of your wage. But on the other side, you've got deductions required by law, like Social Security or court orders. For those, they don't need your consent. So, with all these possible deductions, is there a limit to how much can be taken out? Yes, and it's a big one. Article 93 is crystal clear. The total of all deductions put together can't be more than half your wage in any given month. That's a vital safety net to make sure you always go home with a decent chunk of your earnings. So we know the law protects your pay, but what about your time? Let's switch gears and look at the official rules for your work schedule and what happens when you work extra. The first number you need to know is 8. Under the law, 8 hours is the standard maximum for a normal workday. And if you do the math, that 8-hour day adds up to your standard work week, which is capped at 48 hours. But the law is also considerate of cultural practices. During the holy month of Ramadan, the workday for Muslim employees is actually shortened to a maximum of 6 hours. So what happens when you work more than those standard hours? Well, that's what we call overtime. And Article 107 defines it really clearly. It's any hour you work over that 48-hour weekly limit or any time you have to work on your day off or an official holiday. And how do you get paid for that extra time? The law is very specific. For every single hour of overtime, your employer has to pay you your normal hourly rate plus an extra 50% of your basic wage on top of that. Working hard is one thing, but burning out is another. The law makes sure you get the rest you need to be healthy and productive. These aren't just nice ideas, they are legal requirements. Article 101 basically maps out the rhythm of your day. You can't work more than 5 hours straight without a break. That break has to be at least 30 minutes long for things like rest, prayer, or a meal. And all in all, you can't be kept at the workplace for more than 12 hours in a single day. And your week has a built-in day off too. Article 104 states that Friday is the official weekly rest day. This has to be a full 24-hour period where you're not working and you still get your full pay. An employer can't just pay you extra to work it. You're entitled to the time. All right, our final section. Let's talk about getting time away from work. From your yearly vacation to personal emergencies, the law has specific rules on what you're owed. Let's start with annual leave. You get at least 21 days off per year. And here's a nice little bonus. After you've been with the same company for 5 straight years, that number jumps up to 30 days. And there's some great protections here too. Your boss has to pay you for your vacation before you even go, and if you leave with unused days, they have to pay you for it. Life happens, and the law recognizes that. You're entitled to paid time off from major life events. You get 5 days for getting married or for the passing of a close family member, like a spouse, parent, or child. And you get 3 days to celebrate the birth of a new child. For Muslim employees, Article 114 has a really important provision for the Hajj pilgrimage. To qualify, you need to have been with your employer for at least 2 years in a row, and you can't have performed Hajj before. If you meet those conditions, you get 10 to 15 days of paid leave. It's a once-in-a-career benefit with that specific employer. And what happens if you get sick? Article 117 lays out a tiered system. For the first 30 days you're out sick in a year, you get your full pay. For the next 60 days after that, you get 75% of your pay. And then the next 30 days of leave would be unpaid. So there you have it. From how you're paid to when you get to rest, these aren't just suggestions from your boss. They're the law, and they're designed to protect you. So the real question to ask yourself is, how does your workplace stack up against these rules? Knowing your rights is the first and most important step. Thank you so much for watching. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, like the video, and share it with your friends. We'll see you next time.